Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're taking a look at this $12.50 iPhone 5C that I picked up on eBay. Now, as you can see from the photo there, that it is totally smashed. The LCD is cracked and the screen itself is also smashed. So you can see here it is, it's green. Now the first thing I did was back up this iPhone to an encrypted backup. The screen actually trusted my computer somehow. It sort of glitched through the home screen and into the calculator app at one point. But you can see there it is totally shattered, and the digitizer is completely unresponsive, so I can't unlock it or do anything like that. So I've gone ahead and shut it off by holding the power and home button, and I'm going to go ahead and put a brand new screen on this. Now I picked this up so cheap because it actually is iCloud activation locked. Now it has no passcode on it, and the reason I can tell that is if you look up the top of an iPhone that isn't passcode locked, you'll actually see the little grabber tab for Control Center and Notification Center. If you see those, the phone itself is not passcode locked unless it is running iOS 7, then there's a possibility. Since iOS 7 is quite old and out of date, most phones won't be running a version of iOS 7 anyway, so this is a good indicator the phone has no passcode. Now sure enough, iCloud is on, so I will have to try and get that removed, but we'll talk a little bit about that later. So basically, installing a screen on this isn't very hard at all. I just took the old one off, and you can see there, it's definitely not a genuine Apple screen as it has a sticker on the cable itself. So this has been replaced at some point. Basically, not a very hard process at all. Basically, the hardest part would probably be putting on the camera assembly and everything again, because trying to put those screws in there, it's a bit difficult when the speaker contains a magnet and it just keeps sucking the screws towards the magnet itself. But you can see here, it didn't take very long at all, and quite a quick process to do. Now you also got to remove this metal shield as well to reinstall onto the new screen. Most new screens don't come with the home button and the camera assembly and things like that, but if you can get one, I advise doing so. Just keep in mind, if you've got a 5S or later, that you'll need to swap over your home button or you won't get Touch ID. But this is a 5C, so that's not an issue, which is great. If your home button breaks, then you don't have to worry about Touch ID not working, because these phones didn't ship with Touch ID anyway. The metal plate itself wouldn't fit at first. It seemed that the screen itself was slightly smaller or something, so I had to get my spudger in there and just sort of bend those metal tabs out a little bit so I could get that metal shield reinstalled into the screen itself. So I can go ahead and put all the screws back into the new screen. The new screen itself costs more than the phone, but I got a decently good quality screen here. I actually haven't bought off this seller before. I can report that it was a very good screen. I got that from eBay. If you're getting a new screen for a phone, I wouldn't go for the cheapest screen that you can buy unless you're just using it maybe just to test out the phone itself or whatever. If you're going to be changing your screen, at least go sort of mid-range, because you don't want to get those screens that don't actually work properly and they're just a nightmare, because you end up having to return them because they don't work properly, or they have lines in them, or the color is really bad. But other than that, this was relatively easy to do and didn't take very long at all. Now after you've done that, I just went ahead and cleaned around the edge of the phone itself just to remove any dirt inside the phone. Then I could go ahead and plug in the new screen and go ahead and hold down the power button here and make sure everything's working. You can see there, no more cracked LCD, and we can actually see what's going on the screen itself. So once the phone turns on, you can see here we've got slide to unlock, and like I said, those little grabbers, or whatever you want to call them, up the top and the bottom are there, which means this phone had no passcode on it. And you can see I got straight into the phone, and it's a 32GB iPhone 5C green running iOS 9.3.4. Now that I can confirm the screen works, I can go ahead and install the LCD bracket plate to stop the connectors from coming unplugged, and also the battery bracket as well. Now for some reason, Apple doesn't make all the screws magnetic. There's this one screw on just about every generation of iPhone that isn't magnetic. It is the longest screw, and it's probably why they do it, so you don't muddle it up and put the screws in the wrong holes, which can in turn entirely break the phone, and board level replacements and repairs and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you lay the screws out in a way that you can know where everything goes. I usually lay the screws out next to the components they come from, so I know exactly what hole they come from and what component they come from as well, so I don't end up putting any screws in the wrong place and damaging any of the logic board or screen or anything else. So once you've gone ahead and done all that, and go ahead and put the screen back onto the 5C and clip it down and put the bottom screws into the iPhone, and then we're ready to test out the iPhone itself. Okay, so powering on the phone again, you can see that this time the screen is installed, but yet again, everything is working fine. And a good test when you get a new screen is to drag an icon or just move your finger around on the screen to make sure all parts of the digitizer are responsive. And then I just tested out some basic features such as the camera app, just to make sure the camera is aligned and working, which it was. Now, this phone itself is iCloud locked, like I said, so it has an iCloud account linked into it. Now, I did get in contact with the original owner, or the account owner, on this Find My iPhone account, and he said that he had recycled the phone at Officeworks, which is like a sort of where you can buy, like rulers and stuff. There's sort of like a stationary shop. We don't have one here where I live, but there's one a couple of hours away. I didn't know they recycled phones. It turns out the guy who bought it off on eBay has just got it out of a phone recycling bin and sold it on eBay for $12, which I don't see much of a profit myself. But 12 bucks, not bad. So anyway, with the new screen and everything, it was a very cheap 5C. Like I said, I got in contact with the owner of the Apple ID, and he basically removed it from his account, or he did something, I'm not sure what he's done, but basically when I turned it off, I shut it down because it didn't seem to do anything. He said he had remotely wiped it. I went ahead and powered the phone back on, and you can see it booted straight into the hello screen. And you can see there, activation lock pops up. So all he's going to do now is remove it from his account, and the phone will be able to activate. Now you can see here, it goes straight to the activation lock screen, and a weird thing, it literally just asked me to sign in with the iTunes store here, and it actually says his email right there. Now I actually knew the email anyway, so that wasn't anything exciting, but I thought it was kind of funny that it's asking you to sign into the iTunes store on the activation lock screen. That shouldn't happen, that is a bug, because theoretically Apple's not supposed to be providing the email address of a locked iPhone. If you want to see if I got this phone unlocked or not, make sure you go ahead and check out my Twitter. Link will be down in the description. I post a lot of things on there about things that don't actually make it to videos, and behind the scenes on my videos as well. So I'll post on my Twitter about the iPhone 5C if I get it unlocked, or if I don't get it unlocked, or whatever happens to the 5C. I should be getting it unlocked nevertheless. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos just like this one, go ahead and check out the iPhone playlist. Link will also be down in the description. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'll catch you guys next time, another one of my great videos.